If you want to reschedule today, you can. But I have Jack, you're coming at 2. Guillermo, you're coming at 4. I think at 3 o'clock, I'm going to take a nap because I'm tired. And then I'll be, if you want to meet me in the afternoon, you're welcome to. But the announcements are these, and I hope you guys will be happy. And this comes with an apology because I take forever to grade, but you can submit your revisions for any work with a grade of 0 or lower, or if you're just not satisfied, you can turn in any work until 5 p.m. to assignment revisions. And you can always turn in your late papers too. So get those in. But I would say, of course, get it in all in by Tuesday, 5 o'clock. Also, I'm going to be emailing your grades out. If there are any errors, please call me on the phone. I can fix it, all right? Or if I need to explain something, and then the portal will be open through May 28th. So you can download your papers with your feedback. The only thing I will say about the drafts I've seen, again, you need to make sure you follow Modern Languages Association. When you cite the author, put the page number, not the date. If there is no page number, put the last name, okay? The other thing is, do not just use websites, or your ethos will not be as strong. You want to be credible. Yeah, and don't forget all the components of the paper. If you're still confused about that, let me know. If you're missing any, I'll still let you submit them through Tuesday if you forget. But remember that you need an outline. Then let's pull that assignment sheet up real quick. Woo! No headaches. I'm getting a headache. Is it raining outside? Stupid rain. It's not the rain's fault, but let me see. Did I do the assignment sheet for paper 3? Jesus Estrada. I guess I didn't. Well, darn. Okay, let me put that up there then. Woo, good thing I looked at it. Okay, paper 3. I'm going to just copy and paste the assignment sheet over. I know I said Friday, but you know you've got more time. But you need an outline. You need, for sure, make sure you get your proposal in. Even though some of you are working backwards, I know. But your outline, the evaluation of the audience, which can be a separate paragraph, and then the annotated bibliography, which I showed you using PowerPoint. But if you have any questions, come see me. Here it is. An essay on outline, analysis of the audience, 11 to 14 pages, a bibliography, which is not works cited, in an annotated bib at the end. And each one counts for credit. In fact, the final paper is for 200 points, which is why it's very important that you get it in. Now, if you're in a position where you don't think you're going to finish the class and you know, okay, I'm not going to get my work done, I don't want to get a C, I'd rather take it incomplete, what should you do? Cry? Cry in your pillow? What should you do? That's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to cry in your pillow. Unless you want to cry in your pillow. Anybody say it. Don't be embarrassed because Misael is here. What should you do?
Ask for an incomplete.
Exactly. You can text me on the phone. You can text me on the Google number. You can call me. I'll pick up. Right? Please take no shame in that. That'll also maybe give you the space to work on those classes where they're not giving you an incomplete and not letting you turn in late work. So use you know yourself. You know when needs to be hit hard. And I want you to do super well on these papers and be proud of your work. Don't just phone it in. You know what that means, right? You just kind of half it. So please, okay? That is all the encouragement I'm going to give you. Look, usually I give some big speech at the end of the semester, but you all have been such a joy to come in. I mean, you're amazing. You've done such great work on all your papers, the engagement. I wish the engagement in breakout rooms had been better. That's the only criticism I have because, I get it. You have all been in remote learning for so long, but that's what I would have loved to see. Trent and Jack and Michaela and Camila have super gold stars because they were engaging. So I'm going to remember that because you did great. Also, want to say that if you ever need a letter recommendation, I will happily write any of you letters of recommendation unless you haven't been doing your work. Just kidding. But for those of you who've been coming consistently and doing your work, more than happy to write you a letter. All right. Camila knows. Maybe I've written one for you. I'm really good at writing letters too because my students usually get the scholarship. And I like to believe it's because of my awesome writing skills. It's because of them. But, I'm good at writing letters. Wait, are we live? Did we ever go live?
Yes.
Yeah, it says we are.
Oh, whoops. It's Wednesday, everybody. Yay, Wednesday. This is also the last week of class in case you missed a memo. And I know I said this before, but I will miss you terribly. You and my creative writing class made this last remote term so good. All right. I can do this. I think my body knows I'm about to go on break, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you sick. And I was like, no, I need to be healthy through Tuesday. I have these conversations with my body sometimes, you know, but I think it's better that you not tell yourself you're getting sick, because then your brain will believe it. You know, don't tell yourself that. Say, I'm feeling healthy and I'm happy and I'm strong. And I love English. Yay. All right. Sorry, the technology is not being my friend today, but that's okay. It's getting better. All right, here we go. Again, extra credit for being here today. If I missed your attendance, I'm gonna check the hoosey facey, the Zoom. Daisy, mija, I think I saw you. You hear mija? Does anybody see her? Brilliant. Mariqueña, no Mariqueña today. She would have loved this talk. Mikey, I see you, mija. Chibuka, are you here? Chibuka TV.
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing, mijo?
Good.
Awesome. You made it. You made it. You made it. You made it to the last day. Everybody, yay. Monse.
I'm here.
Awesome. Ida. Abby. I think she goes by Abby. Trent is here. Jennifer, I see you, mija. Everlyn, I see you. Wood, I see you. Wood gets a super gold star because he was here most of the time. Not all the time, most of the time. Mako, mijo, are you here?
I'm here.
Wonderful. Did you hear the announcement, son?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to say too. If you're gonna focus on two aspects of the course, this is what I want you to focus on. The peer editing, that is worth 15% of the grade. And the papers. The papers are worth like 70% of the grade. Those two things right there, I'll take you to a B. All right. So focus on that. And if you want to turn in the extra credit exam, I'm still accepting those. Guillermo, mijo, are you here? Oh, sad. Brianna? Eric, I see you, mijo. Wait, did I see Eric? Eric, are you here? Eric. No, Eric. Well, boo. Jack is here. Ashley, mija, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. Eden is here. Itzen, mija, are you here? Beautiful. Camila?
I'm here.
Wonderful. Michelle? I got Eden. And that's mean. Michelle, and then Gift is here. All right.
I'm here.
So good to hear your voice. And then Eric is not here, right? And Guillermo is not here, but he's gonna come see me later. How's that gonna work out? Oh, Mariqueña, yay! Mariqueña made it, woo!
Hey, so I actually like have to go to work, and then like I gotta pick my little brothers up from school soon.
Oh,
So I won't like.
I'm live streaming, but what I said, look at the announcements, mija, because you can turn in your revised work through Tuesday, turn in any late work. I mean, any late work through Sunday.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw
Okay,
it. You said
all right. All right, dope. Okay.
haters saying I'm dead.
No, because
You
Jennifer.
talking about the song?
No, earlier Jennifer was telling him Eden isn't here. Mark him absent when he's totally here.
Oh
Dude.
my God. LOL. Y'all funny as hell. But this is the last class.
I know, mija. We're gonna miss you. You were just so great. You did such a beautiful job. Okay, I'm not gonna cry because this is also. I brought you a gift. The gift from Misael Juarez. So if you ladies and gentlemen and others wouldn't mind muting out, today we have the distinct honor and pleasure of having Misael Juarez, who is of Zapotec descent. He is coming out with a book through my press, but first poet that I'm going to publish. The title of the book is My Spoken Word Wife, Claim for Keeps. And so Misael is in from Las Vegas. And originally we said that he could be on for 30 minutes, so you could peer edit. But if you want him to stay longer, you can let him stay longer. It's all good, you know. All right, Misael, why don't you introduce yourself to the class? And just FYI, we are live streaming on YouTube. So kind of try to behave, kind of.
All right.
Go ahead.
Thank you, everybody. First of all, I want to welcome everybody into this segment. I'm not sure exactly, I didn't prepare anything for you guys, but what I want to do is I want to read poetry. I want to talk a little bit about my process of writing. And at the same time, I want to answer your questions if you have any, or if you have any comments. So that'll be the structure for today. All right, Mari Kenya, have a good one. So what I want to say is, my name is Misael. I'm 39 years old. I was born in Los Angeles, California. I became a writer through blessings. I was also a college student at the California State University, where I learned and read books about writing. And I have schizophrenia. I hear voices and things like that. But I use the voices to collaborate and do poetry. So I'm not, instead of fighting with the voices, I'm always collaborating with them. The other thing is, I'm a father, and I'm currently looking forward for this new publication of this book that I've been working on. So with that said, let's jump into the whole thing right now. So I came here because I was invited by Jesus to read to you guys for your last segment. Do I have titles for my book plan? Yes, I do. It's called My Spoken Word Wife, and it's about auditory hallucinations. That I have a wife, and it's a hallucination. And I explore past relationships, and I somehow always bring her up throughout the poetry. So it has a constant theme of who this person is, and in whatever light I can possibly manage under the circumstance of my situation. Any more questions like that? So
We are going to gift you PDFs of it, even the working draft. But if you're interested, Misael is going to drop his email. He can send you a signed copy, and I'll pay for it. So that's something that would be an honor and privilege if you could read it, right? Because what's writing for if not for an audience? Yeah.
That's right. For the audience. I'm a very collective person. I believe that a message should be shared and forwarded to as many people as possible. When you think about giving and you think about creating, the two go hand in hand. When you create something, it is not simply for yourself, it's for the world. It is for you to share. And the more it nourishes others more than you, the better it is, the reward for doing the job. So that's what I want to start off with. That's very important. Sharing is caring, is what they say in kindergarten, but sharing is blessing once you mature. So make sure to bless your friends and community people. Once you get that book, let it spread around and keep sharing it. Let it circulate to wherever it ends up. Might end up on the other side of the country. So with that said, I should read some poetry. So I'll start off with a poem. I grew up in Los Angeles. I was a graffiti writer. So this is about women in the graffiti circle. So here it goes. She wears pink hoodies and lime green Reebok shoes. With long hair braids, she's an apple-bottom jeans muse, standing over milk crates to graffiti brick walls, coloring block letters and hearts that never fall. She hopped on a moving old city bus bumper, held on tight and spray painted her name and wondered. She was arrested, but she kept tagging and broke every law to follow her heart's passion. Her rivals were graffiti boys who flared spray paint, competing against gambits with their fingers stained. Corporate advertisements don't last a long time. She can steal the show by tagging up business signs. Police look for acrylic paint on her palm hands. They shine bright lights on her face and left her to stand, patting her down while grabbing her breasts like bastards. But she moaned to clown and gave her crew some laughter. I saw her arrested, became a lonely drunk, angry with the system. The city acts like punks. Cops aren't the answers. Teens are condemned and damned. She even tagged big streets forbidden by big gangs. Someone is kidnapping indigenous women. She hit the street to alert us with raw wisdom, representing graffiti tribes and their gambits, dodging Ralph Perez and corrupt Rampart badges. She made songs to describe fat aerosol spray tips, how to flare her concepts like letters when she spits, able to flip street knowledge to the rhythmic beat. She quickly made money and now she leads the streets. The moon is her best friend and the only lighting. She rattles cans. She's bound by guerrilla fighting. She's moving as a streetwise graffiti ninja. When she spray paints her name, she hollers at all of y'all.
Damn, that was beautiful. So in between sets, you're welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to comment. So Camila says, that's amazing. Oh, right. They want your poetry books. Anybody have a comment or question for Misael? All right, keep it going, brother.
Okay.
I spoke too soon. How did you first get into poetry and writing? That's a great question.
I love that. Ha ha. I got into poetry writing when I was 16. They had just shot one of my friends that I've known since elementary school. I started writing verses, like they were Spanglish, and it would be about trying to survive the streets. It would be about just me trying to express myself in a cool way to my homeboys that I would try to eventually lead into make these writings and formulate them into a rap deployment. And so I would take time to try to do hip hop and things like that. And I got into writing at 16 and I would start writing from there on. But previously, before that, I would write short stories. I would write poems here and there. But when I really got into it, it was when I was 16. And from there on, it just kept up. I kept receiving opportunities to write and I would do it. And so I did this thing and I did that thing and it led me here, led me there, led me to the stage and led me here and there. And now I'm here with front of all of y'all talking about this book that I have. Let me look at her comment.
Actually, that's a really good question because I don't think we have it yet. Does your current book have a dedication to them? Or do you plan on doing that in a future book? That's a great question. By the way,
Dedication?
we need a dedication in the book.
Oh, I need one. Yeah, I need to write one. But I would dedicate it to my mother, to my father, to my brothers, my sisters, all who looked out for me, my homeboys, and especially the spirit of creativity, which I call my spoken word wife. Hello? Anybody there?
We're here, but I'm sorry. I'm choking on water. Continue, friend.
So, a little bit about the book. I started, during 2015, I was going through major changes, drastic changes. where I kept screwing everything up. And if you know a little bit about schizophrenia and psychosis and what it does, it basically ruins relationships. Basically, what it does is that thing, what they call a mental illness or a phenomena, it isolates you. It isolates you, and somehow people just leave your life. And throughout the stories that I've heard from other schizophrenics is that they also experience similar things, where you remain just with the few ride or dies homies that you have or family members. But I started hearing as an auditory hallucination. Where's your spoken word wife? Like I will hear a voice right here, like by my ear, your spoken word wife, this and that. And that was 2015, and so now it's 2022, 7 years later. I have this book, and I wrote all these poems dedicated to past relationships that I had previously experienced with women, and they were captured by the poetry. But in respect to the spirit of creativity, which I call my spoken word wife, I somehow formulated all of that stuff. I'm channeling all that energy into creating this character, and so I definitely use a lot of imagination. And I went from all these stories. These were personal stories, but I tell them in a way to honor the spirit of creativity, and that's what that's about. I feel like there's a different energy from your previous class. The other class was a little bit more, I don't know, maybe because it's almost lunchtime around there where you guys are.
Well, and it's also the end of term and they're working on this heavy paper, but Camila has her hand up. Go ahead, Mija.
Yeah, so I just have a question because I know that you spoke about how this book is very much like about your past relationships, and I get the sense that now you've really like kind of understood like these voices that you hear. And so how does that translate into like the relationships that you now have, or that you start making, like in future relationships? How does that change the way that you go into a friendship or relationship?
That's a great question.
First of all, that's a great question. We'll get into your question, Jennifer. It is after losing so many people in my life, I began expecting nothing. And as I expected nothing, simply because I didn't want to be let down. So when I enter a relationship or friendship or something like that, I don't plan it. I just let it happen organically. And I learned to not expect anything from anyone, simply because I've been let down too many times. And so far, the way it has served me in my life, it has created a very simple attitude towards the world. And it allows me the opportunity to not be upset at people for their shortcomings or whatever they are doing. I don't take a lot of things personal simply because I let go of all of that stuff. I used to be very insecure, very frightened at competition, or ranging from do I look good? Do I dress good? Do I have that money? Do I have this? Do I comparing and contrasting? All these things that sabotage your awareness of what reality really is. As you let go of all of that stuff, you come into relationships feeling like you made a breakthrough and you have something to teach. If someone will lend a ear, you could teach them about themselves, simply because you spent, or I spent, enough time in my solitude to understand my situation, understand where I've been at, where I'm from, where I'm going, and understanding that I'm riding with the wind, so to speak, and it's an adventure. I am planning, even though it's a contradiction from what I said, you don't plan anything. I am planning to release a book. I am planning to see where it takes me. I am planning um, being being social, and I plan on doing all kinds of things like that. That is a great question. I'm not sure if I answered it correctly, but let me know if I did.
No, I think you
No,
answered it in a really healthy way. Sorry, Camila, go ahead.
no, yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing. I mean, that's definitely insightful. And I mean, I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer says, how have your friends and family supported you through schizophrenia? The ones who stay and try to understand. And then there's a question by Eden after that.
Oh, that was great. That's a great question. Well, first of all, it was economically, because once I got diagnosed and psychosis and the shit hit the fan, and, so to speak, I started losing opportunities very quickly, losing friendships and relationships. I couldn't manage simple things because whatever would happen to me would just spin me out into a whole new realm, like a whole new dimension. And like I said, voices like to isolate people. And that's why whenever you walk the streets and you see a homeless person being alone, but he's not alone because he's speaking to an invisible entity that you can't see, but he could see, that you can't hear, but he could hear. Those things isolate you, because they want, it's not so much they want control of you, is that it feels like it's an emergency for those voices. It feels like almost like an emergency rush where they're asking, they're trying to teach, they're trying to say things, or in worst cases, they're trying to make you do bad things or hurt yourself or hurt others. Those are the worst cases. The good cases is they're inspiring you, they're giving you awareness, and they're giving you some type of understanding of the nature of things from their perspective. And it is something that I write about. And the best thing that my people did for me was help me out economically until I was able to manage to get a little bit of money here and there to do the things that I needed to do periodically. And so they helped me with that economically. While they were helping me out with that, I was able to write this poetry book. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here to talk to you guys. I probably would have been out in the street trying to survive instead of achieving this dream that I have of writing this book, manifesting a piece of who I am and what I've been through this book. Thank you for asking that question.
We have a couple more questions. Eden wants to know, what are your biggest fears while writing your literature or in terms of life?
My biggest fear would be the grammar.
And that's why you should learn your grammar rules. Lucky for him, I have a PhD and I studied grammar a lot. So we're good.
Is grammar, and grammar, because I know in my heart, I have a few books that I read, and they were very beautifully written. Like, I thought they were the best. And I memorize and I go through them sometimes, and just to see if I could improve. But the grammar helps you in such a way that it validates it validates what you're saying. It's like, it's almost like magic, like when the grammar is there, no one can say shit about your writing. No one. When you revised it, when you play with the words and the concepts and you use clarity and everything like that, no one can say nothing bad about it. All they could do is just they just have to read it. That's it. And and it is what it is. But when there are mistakes, when there's things that are illogical or the grammatical errors occur, that's when people have something to say about your writing. And it's very important that you go through those books that they give you in English 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, whatever, all that stuff that you go through, if there exists those classes, go through all that stuff, study that through the summer, because that will make you a better writer throughout your whole academic lifetime. And if you're a good communicator, I was saying this earlier to the other class, if you're a good communicator, you're very mobile, you're very fluid, you're very able to move through all kinds of through the structure of the system. You're able to move in such a way. It makes you mobile. Imagine being illiterate, you're immobile. You cannot move because you simply stay exploited or whatever, because you don't know how to ask for a raise, not just in your language, but in another language of the new country that you stepped into. So it's very important to worry about grammar, simply because I don't want my ideas to get lost. I don't want to dream something so great and then just boom, it was a comma or a this made the difference. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking.
I will also add, as I've been telling you, that's one of my issues that I point everything out. They've seen it in their drafts and whatnot. You have to be cognizant of what your error patterns are so you can correct them, right? When I went to college, nobody told me that I had issues with comma splices and placement of topic sentences and whatever. I had to learn that on my own. And at that point, I was writing my dissertation. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think I kind of go overboard, but you each have your own issues. And two, that's also part of your credibility as a writer. Mistakes make your credibility go down. That's why I'm telling you, please proofread your essays, spell check them, grammarly them, whatever you got to do. Have somebody else reading for you. Go to the writing lab, because that'll amplify your voice as a writer too. Here's another fantastic question from Mikey. When did you start having symptoms of schizophrenia?
When I was 17, after being stabbed by gang rivals, as I lay in a puddle of my own blood, I started hearing voices, and they were having the conversation. The conversation was about whether or not I want to let go of this life on earth. And I was arguing with these invisible entities, and they said, no, we cannot let you come here, wherever that was. And they told me my daughter was on the way. And when they told me that, I go like, oh, I'm gonna have a kid. I want to stay. I was 17 years old. I want to stay for that, you know. And that's at 17. That's when I started having these symptoms. What was the other question?
I think that was it. But then you weren't somebody else, but you weren't diagnosed until you were in your 30s, right?
Right. I wasn't diagnosed till I was in my 30s, till all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Till whatever. I don't know what happened. I don't know exactly what happened, excuse me. But I was hospitalized in 2015. And in 2015, I would be in the mental hospital writing poems, because they give you these little half pencils. They give you these half pencils that you can barely hold on to. And I had a few papers, and I would write poems. And while I was in the mental institution or whatever that was, and I would preoccupy myself while other people were right there doing their thing. Like it's quite a show, you know, if you're ever there. And everybody's doing their thing, and I was doing my own thing. What do you think what is this question?
Before it, Trent has a question. It says, fun question. Early on, did you only write original stories, or did you write fan fiction too? If not, I understand. Writing is usually more enjoyable when you are creating something completely new. Beautifully said. So when you first wrote, were you imitating other writers, writing fan fiction, or writing originals?
I feel like I was always writing originals. I did write fan fiction. I did write what do you call it?
You better say a
Like,
comic book, brother, or I'm gonna lose all respect for you.
No, I was gonna say X-Men. You know,
Okay. Full respect. Okay, we're good.
I wrote stories. I wrote like comic stories for X-Men. Not that they ever got published or anything by the Marvel franchise, but I will write like stories about like Gambit and Rogue and the
Oh
Hulk.
my gosh, those are my favorite characters.
And they're fighting. They're fighting like it will be my version of things, how things go down. And the setting will be in Los Angeles, the year 2050 or something like that. And I will write things that I think were very hilarious, you know, because I'll try to make like a joke about it. You know, I'll try to make a joke about it and make all kinds of movements and just try to add my humor to it. And I wrote a few of them. I wrote 3 of them. I wrote fan fiction. And I was inspired by my daughter because my daughter wrote fan fiction for other anime series. And when she started doing that, I wanted to legitimize what she was doing by doing it myself. Because she was 10 years old writing fan fiction, and I started writing fan fictions just to let her know, yeah, that's the thing to do, you know. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every moment of it. If I had $1 million, I would produce my own Marvel movie and my own version of things.
Oh, there's multiverses now, brother. You know what thing? The thing is that the plot line in the X-Men, whether it was classic X-Men or I was a comic book collector too. I had the 1968 first edition that my dad tore up because he's a Mexican father of the worst kind, and I didn't listen to him when he wanted me to sweep the floor. He tore up all my comics. I don't even want to see how much that comic is worth now, but it was the one where Professor Xavier and the X-Men went into the sewers in New York and met the Morlocks, if you know your comic. But anyway, the thing is that the plots, look, after the 5th time the X-Men came back to life, I think I lost interest. But there were some times where I get so angry at the writers because I wanted Rogue to have a relationship with Gambit. I wanted Kitty Pryde to feel secure within herself. And there were these things that happened that I'm like, damn, these writers are brutal. And they're being overly mean to my heroes, you know? So I think in that regard, I would totally be validated in writing some X-Men related stuff. Just so, hey man, Jean Grey and Wolverine finally get together, you know, like genuinely get together. And it's just a lot, but you know, tension's important. But I think in that regard, just to get that catharsis, because you get so mad when something doesn't go your way, that I see the value now, right now, I see the value of fan fiction. Because normally I snub my nose at fan fiction, you know.
Yeah.
So here's another question by Mikey. It's a deep question. Mikey wants to know, what did you think was happening to you before your diagnosis?
I felt like I was dying, man. I felt like I was gonna die everywhere, anywhere, anytime. I felt like the concrete will bend when I would step on it, and I'll be like, what's going on? I would see like lights, and I would see like all kinds of auditory and visual hallucinations. I would feel my body feel like there was holding all this type of energies, and I would feel like I was being split by reality. Like I felt, but I did feel like I was dying, and I felt like it made everything more urgent. Everything I did was more urgent. Like, I gotta do this now. Or else I'm gonna die. So it definitely gave me a passion for doing things. And whether I was wrong or right, I was doing it out of fear of death, which I had to work on that in my 30s, and I had to get through it, get over it. And that's what that was like. Thank you for that question.
That's deep. So Jennifer wants to know, what are some of your favorite books you would recommend? Favorite writers who inspire you? Oh, he's got a lot. So get ready. Get ready to write them down.
Who, me?
Yeah, you
Damn.
brother. Yeah, I know
You
you.
know what? You know what story I really enjoyed was of Mice of Men. That I really enjoy that story. I really enjoy the movie.
Steinbeck.
I enjoyed Steinbeck, John Steinbeck, and I enjoyed the story, The Old Man with Enormous Wings by Gabriel Garcia Gabriel
Gabriel
Garcia
García Márquez.
Marquez. Yeah, I was thinking, I was trying not to confuse him with the boxer. I was like, wait a minute, am I confusing him with the boxer? Marquez. All right. And so that guy, I really enjoyed Walter Mosley, the guy who I think wrote this book called The Unfortunate Son, which was about a homeless kid and a rich kid who end up being brothers, and they're split apart, and they tell the story of the homeless brother, what he has to go through. And the whole time the rich brother is wondering like what happened to his brother, and he has life is all set up, he's all privileged and everything, but he's just wondering about his childhood memory. That was a really moving story. I enjoy anything by Luis Javier Rodriguez. I really like his style and writing. I enjoy a lot of Walter Mosley. I definitely recommend it to you. Detective stories. I enjoy that stuff.
I've noticed you're not mentioning me.
I have
I'm
yet to
messing with
read.
you. I'm messing with you, bro.
I
Kidding.
you killed me right there. I was like, oh my God.
I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing.
Jesus, you know what? In good time, I'm gonna get your collection. I'm gonna get your books.
Whoa. Jennifer says to kick you out of the Zoom room. Jennifer's on a road today, man. Gold star for Jennifer for being funny. Okay,
I
here's
feel like Jennifer will roast me if I go astray from anything that is expected to be talked about.
Jennifer is gonna be the hater on the comments on the YouTube. You watch. She's gonna log in under a different name. I'm just kidding.
Give me a thumbs down.
Don't do that. I know, right? So Mikey has another question. She says, "Is there a one book story you wish you could have written yourself instead of another writer? Which would it be?" Oh, he's gonna say the X-Men, bro. Just go.
No, it's not the X-Men. What story that I wish I could have written? Wow. A story that I wish I could have written. There's a song that I wish I could have written, actually. And we were just talking about that song. It's the song Dear Mama by Tupac. I wish I could have written that. That's the only one that it was so beautiful. It like it just captivated, like growing up poor with a single mom. I wish I could have wrote that for my mama. And I wrote pieces for my mama afterwards that I was able to take her to the stage and honor her. But
did she
if
hear
it
you while
wasn't
you
for-
were on stage?
Yeah, she heard me when I was on
Oh
stage
my
reading her
gosh.
poem.
And may I say, your mother
she was
looks
crying.
so beautiful and so young. I was gonna joke around and say, "Yo, which one's your sister, bro? I didn't know who your daughter is. She's gorgeous." You tell her I said that your mom is a thing of beauty. Is she there?
Thank you.
She's
No,
right?
she's not here.
But she
But
lives there? Just tell her I said.
yeah, I'll tell her. I'll let her know. I'm gonna let her know. She likes those compliments. That was the other picture was taken like 2-3 years ago. But yeah, that's a song that I wish I would have wrote, Dear Mama, because it was just so beautiful. It inspired me to write. And you know how you said, somebody asked me, have I ever imitated something like that? You know what? I did. It was through rap. Through rap, I would take the lyrics to music, because back then I used to pay like a nickel to print out copies from the library, and I would print out lyrics to like Eazy-E, Bone Thugs and Harmony, whatever rapper was legit during the 90s. I would print out their their lyrics, and I will read over them, and I'll just try to figure out like where's the music, where's the how do they read it, or how do they go with the beat? And I was a little young teenager just trying to figure out how all that works. And I was I started me and my friends had this thing where we would change the lines and just to clown each other. Like if the story will say BIGBOPPA, no info for the DA. Like when they would say things like that, we'll change it to our own thing. We'll be like, it's the MISAEL, and we're right here all day, every day. And little by little, we'll start getting those concepts and transforming them. And eventually you have one piece that was being mimicked, and now it's an original piece because it's its own thing that could stand on its own. Where do you find your most inspiration? It has to be from the voices. Definitely, I get inspired by the voices. They're very inspirational. I don't know. I was a loner for a long time, so I spent a lot of time isolated, and I get inspired by the voices to be creative, to let go, especially just to let go of being in control.
May I say, one of the things that I love about Misael's relationship to the schizophrenia and whatnot is that he sees it as a blessing, and I would say it's one of the healthiest things I've seen. I don't know how to say it, but he I don't know how to say it. It's a blessing. He owns it. He embodies it. It informs his work. He's not shy to talk about it. I think his story is empowering because like he said, there are a lot of students in mental health, schizophrenic, bipolar, that are isolated. This is why oftentimes they will take remote classes, right? They don't want to socialize with others. So I think it's deeply inspiring, Misael, not just that you flip the narrative and own it in such a way that it's empowering, it doesn't control you, but it's a collaborative collective. That to me is dope. The other thing, oh man, there was another thing, and it's Wednesday, y'all, and Hessel gets forgetful after a certain time of the day. Spoken word. You spoke in the other class, and maybe you should speak to this a little bit about how people should have mental clarity and be able to do their own thing. That I think is important, whether they want to be lawyers, accountants, whatever. I was wondering if you could speak to that. That's my question.
Yes, people should be able to be original. Because somebody once told me it's not about being original, it's about going back to the origins, going back to the basics. And through that, you can find your own voice to become better at creating your personality, your own unique voice. Your own unique voice was given to you, but through even through institutions and social norms, we get conditioned to apply these suggestions about how to behave, how to speak, how to walk and talk. But through going back to the origins of who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you rowdy. And that's a lot of things that you get when you're schizophrenic. A lot of schizophrenics, I would say, are original. If they're extroverted, if they're out and about and outgoing, they're very original. But I'm not sure if I answered your question, but definitely going back to the origins of who you are, what you're all about, why you're in school, why you walk, why you talk the way you talk, going back to the origins of what is your essence and what's that all about. And you could build a unique voice, whether you be a lawyer, whether you be a doctor, whether you be a working class person that works in machinery or a clerk or whatever. Everybody has a style. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the story about this bus driver who, when I got on the bus one time, I noticed, he said, "Hey, how you doing, young man?" I got in, I was like, "All right, I'm doing good, sir." I paid my fee to get in to sit on the bus. And he started naming every single shop and mom and pop's shop on the block. And he did that like, here's Lorena's taco shop, here's Rosary's flower shop, here's the bus to take you to Highland, and this bus will take you here, and these are great bookstores right here, and he's naming all of these things as he's driving the bus, and he's doing two things at once, being this, it's like he's giving us the Hollywood tour of the hood, and he was giving us this amazing, beautiful gift, and everybody was just so excited, was just looking out the window, like marveling at their own community. If that guy didn't have God with him, I don't know who does, because that guy was so inspiring. All the people were communicating with each other. It was that was the magic bus that made a community, instead of just everybody just sitting right there and just being quiet, waiting to go home. That guy got on the microphone and just blessed all of us, and everybody said, man, my God, I feel God. And I could hear the people saying these things. And he did that for miles and miles until I got off, and he probably continued doing that. And I never forgot that attitude, because it's really about attitude too. You go back to the origins and you find that attitude, the one that wants to speak. But you know what? Once you shine bright, the whole darkness notices you. So how do you figure out how to maintain it, how to keep it up, how to do maintenance through your own unique voice? Because you also have to do maintenance, because as you go out into the world, you pick up other things. So you got to figure out how to let go of these things too, so to maintain your unique voice. And it's cool to adjust, it's cool to evolve, it's cool to maintain a certain boundary and certain personality to allow you to put your foot through the door. But it doesn't mean you gotta forget about who you are and what your goals and desires are. I don't know if I answered that good, but that's it.
Yeah, you totally did, and I think it's beautiful. Really well said. Catch it on the other YouTube. I'm gonna post both so you can see, because you spoke at length about the creative writing process in the other class. Well, listen, we're at 127. Do you want to spend some time proofreading with your peers, or workshopping? Damn it, I'm getting the wrong. Peer editing your paper threes with your peers.
Yes, I actually wanted to ask, if we do that, can we have like an extra student for me and Jack?
For sure.
Because I think
for
we've
sure.
exhausted each other's
Okay.
work.
For sure. I tell you what, I'm gonna open up the breakout rooms. Y'all who want to do peer editing, go peer edit. Y'all who want to keep talking. How's that sound? Okay. All right, Misael, just give me a mo. I'm gonna create these breakout rooms, and then we'll see. Okay, give me a moment too, because I have to go back and see who's in. And I would have given you more time, but I think you were digging this conversation. And don't forget, you can peer edit up until Sunday. If you need more time, let me know. Let your peers know, more importantly, so they can also have the opportunity of looking at your work. So I'm gonna put Trent. Let's see who somebody who's gonna engage them. Oh, I put Jennifer. Wait, let's hold up. I can do this. Jack, Trent, and what eats it? Who else wants to go peer edit? Anybody else? I got Itza, Jack, and Trent. Speak truth, Miha. Anybody else? Oh, well, see, now you're popular, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna open up. Itza, is it okay if you go help them out with their paper, or is that not cool? Are you there, Itza? Anybody want to give feedback for Jack and Trent? You know what? I can't help. Wait, can I hop over? No, I can't hop over because I'm streaming. All right, I tell you what, too. Trent and Jack. I know, Jack, I'm seeing you later. Trent, if you want to reschedule, I'd be happy to look at your papers too, and you can always go to the writing lab. All right, there we go. If you change your mind, let me know. I'll put you in a room for the last 20 minutes of class.
Okay. I'll
Yeah,
email
yeah.
you.
Daisy wants to ask, yes, I have office hours after class, but I have appointments. But if you want to meet in another time, just let me know, all right? Itzel, are you there? All right, here we go. All right, Misael, go ahead. How about you do I know I keep requesting it. I'm just so enamored with your hip hop poem. You want to read that one?
Hip hop is a father figure.
Yeah.
Um, this song is to honor hip hop like a father, cause he saw me with the game plan to grow up stronger. When I roll bars to beats to rep for the Big West, he said to never stress the need for their respect. He never suggested for youngsters to floss gold, or he told me to reveal that the kings and queens to live so bold. I roll with the Harbor Street back in the 90s. Chicano's beats bumped from a speaker so swiftly, but then revolutionaries came to make tracks like news junkies that were inspired by the hot facts. Big props to rappers who came to rock the stage, representing 9/11 victims being brave. They say economies will replace your child's dreams with microchips and high-tech robotic machines. I remember hip-hop taught me to stack my chips, but never taught me to turn my back on the poor kids. They compare hip-hop players with the mega rich. It's not the same when you look at the politics. Hip-hop is the father. It raised me legit, a father figure that taught me about showbiz.
I love it. And the more you perform it, I'm telling you, the better it gets, you know? So let's see, what haven't we talked about? Yo, pursue your creative dreams. Don't let anybody stop you, not your mom, not your dad, not your tios, not your anybody, because you know they're not experts in art or writing or rapping. So don't let them down your angel. I was telling the story in my other class that my mom and dad got really upset when I switched to being a dual major at Northern Arizona. Well, first of all, they didn't want me to go to school even though I had 8 scholarships because they wanted me to marry some fantasy doctor, which I guess is one of the immigrant narratives. They want daughters to marry doctors, whatever. But me fui a la brava, you know, and I made my dad give me his blessing or I wasn't going to go. I was roterca. And I left on the bus and, you know, I made it to NAU, got my degree. And then when I went to get my master's at Indiana University in Pennsylvania in English again, they were upset. Tough. I went to Pennsylvania. Then by the time I went to Washington State to get my doctorate, they didn't give a damn anymore. They're like, do whatever you want. And my mom hung up. So they didn't see the value of getting degrees in English. But I'm going to tell you what, I publish internationally. I got my list of things I published all over the place. I own my own press. You know, I contribute to the community. I contribute to my parents. But when I send them a publication, you know, my daughter, they can't read it, but my daughter wrote this. I have a goal to write something in Spanish for them to read so they can actually delve into it. But, you know, if I had listened to them, I'll probably be married to somebody I hated, first of all. Secondly, I probably would be a very, very sad engineer right now. Even though I love the craft and creating, that wasn't where my love was at. I love books. I love reading everything. I love engaging with poets and writers and discussing writing process. I love teaching creative writing. I love teaching English too, you know, a lot. And I love it because it adds another component. But I didn't listen to my parents. I listened to the kids in the barrio when they were teasing me because I wouldn't go outside and play soccer. I would get teased a lot for reading books, a lot. You know, I got teased when I was in academic decathlon. I got teased when I was in honors classes. I got teased when I went for programs in the summer. And they're like, you're a nerd, you know? And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm a proud nerd. Suck it, you know, because I didn't know anybody else like me in the barrio. Shoot, I didn't know anybody like me in the school until I found my little group of nerds, right? They were white, but, you know, they were my people. I started the creative writing program. We started the chess club. We had so much fun. Just had a ball. We did a creative writing magazine. Those were my people. You know, so I they didn't tease me for being in honors, none of that, and I love them, you know. Anyway, so don't let anybody down your angel, dude. No matter what your love is, whether you like to fashion design, whether you want to be a music producer, you want to be a novelist, you want to be the next Steven Spielberg, do it. You know, don't let anybody judge you and stop you. I'm making more money now than probably all my siblings combined. And they also went to college. They got their master's degree. They've been working longer than I have. I bet you my salary is higher than theirs, not to brag, but I'm making more money than I ever thought I would. Now, granted, Chicago is expensive, but you know, my parents never would have thought I would have gotten here. They probably thought I was going to end up starving on the streets. Probably what they were imagining, you know. But anyway, don't let anybody down your angel. Quote me on that. All right, hermano. What we got about 15 minutes left. Okay, I'm gonna ask. I need to ask. That gorgeous necklace you have around your neck, is that from the village?
No, it's something that I found and I liked it because it reminded me of
wolves.
No, it reminded me of the necklace that what's the character's name from Black Panther? The T'Challa.
Orale, T'Challa.
It reminded me of the necklace that he had. So when I saw it, and I wonder if it was on. I asked about it, and what is this about? And I go like, oh, these symbolize the wolf teeth. And when they said wolf teeth, I was like, oh, that's even better. Like,
yep.
I love wolf. Like the wolf is one of the coolest animals to me.
Maybe that's your Nahuatl, you know?
Yeah, it is. That's what they named me. That's when I went to
you're not supposed to tell them that. You're not supposed to tell them that you're Nahuatl. I'm just saying in the abstract. You know?
Oh no. No, I got renamed. They gave me a new name when I was with the Dakota medicine man from North Dakota, and when he renamed me, he named me Shoktoksha, which translates to the wolf. She called me the wolf because he told me I was a loner. He goes, you're a loner, but half the time you're a loner, half the time you're a leader. That's what he told me. That's what they named me.
When did that happen? When did that happen, bro?
That happened in 2013, I think.
Damn, that's deep. You know what? I'm telling you, there are moments in our lives when we encounter holy people that are real and insightful. And when I'll tell you what somebody told me, and I took it very seriously, probably a little too seriously. I had two separate people tell me. One was a fortune teller on the street, and the other one was a curandera. And she said to me, the hand of God rests on your left shoulder. You have to do something with your life to contribute, almost word for word. And I was like, I never heard that as a common saying, but that was so deeply profound. I think it's made me a better activist. What's a Nahuatl? A Nahuatl is a spirit animal that you were born with. This is why a lot of Mayan indigenous people and others don't kill animals, because they believe if you do, you will be punished and sent to a particular level in hell. They don't see hell like we do. There are levels, and we're in the middle right now, right? The ones below are more suffering, the ones above elevate you. And so so the Nahuatl is supposed to be a secret. Your community reveals your Nahuatl to you, or you encounter the Nahuatl when you go out in nature and you see your spirit animal, but nobody's supposed to know what your Nahuatl is but yourself. But I don't know, none of you guys are gonna voodoo Misael here or curse him. You to me seem like a wolf. Yo soy perica. Just kidding. I'm a parrot. No, I tell you what, man. So yeah, that's a belief, and a lot of times the children are named after, it's their secret name. Like there's a baptism name, but then there's their secret name, and the secret name is tied to the Nahuatl. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't give me all those rules for my name. They just told me.
Because they were from South Dakota, bro. Si hubieran sido mexicanos or Zapotecs, olvídate, man.
Yeah.
Zapotecs, I mean, other cultures have, like, I was, okay, I'll shut up. It's not about me. It's about you, Misael. But Misael also did something amazing, that he went back to his roots. He went back to live in this community, and luego they put him to work. But I don't know if you want to speak about what that was like being in the village where your parents are from.
It was amazing. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave that place at all. I wanted to stay there. The mountains, the people, the culture, the environment, indigenous language being spoken. I didn't want to get off that mountain. I wanted to stay there. I'll tell you that. It was I felt like I got what I needed from there, and I felt like it's time to come back home. I felt like I had to be ripped away from that place in order to come back home, and sure enough, it took me a while to get over it. But I know it just is a flight away. You know, I could take a
Yeah.
plane back to Mexico and revisit, but I learned a lot of things about myself. I spent time again, isolation right there, but there was a different energy, and it was very sweet to be around indigenous grandmothers, to be around the elders. You know, they would just talk to you, listen to you, what's going on with you, and it was great. I drank every day. I ate good. It was just so amazing. It was just so amazing, like all to 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 live right there. And I got to work. I got to take care of the animals. I got to do
You were a police officer. Tell them what that was like. That would be an amazing story to tell.
Oh, they made me a police officer right there to inspect people that were coming in because they needed the help. Otherwise, they don't usually ask people from the city or from the U.S. to be cops over there. But since they needed the help, they made me a police officer. And it's not the type of police officer that answers to the mayor or to the federal state. They're just a ranch in a village up in the mountain. God, nobody knows that they exist, but you know they need policing too. So there's no crime right there. Like, you know, there's people that here and there might steal a beer or get rowdy, but that's about it. You know, it's not really like a place where things like that happen. It's a very communal place. Usually what's available for one person is available for others.
Beautiful.
In
And
the
you know
gatherings.
what really struck me? I'm like, holy crap. He would help little old ladies take groceries home. He would clean the bathrooms as a police officer. Why? Because it's a service to the community. Imagine if we had that here in the US, where the cops were helping the community and doing what needed to be done, as opposed to what they do, violence against people of color, right? I was like, I was floored when he told me that. So I find it lovely and amazing. And, you know, I know it hurts because you had thought about staying there the rest of your life. But you know what, brother? Everything happens for a reason and you pay attention. So maybe it was your time to come back and then you're going to go back again, you know,
Yeah.
with me and my family. So we can also experience this beautiful culture. You know, I've been wanting to go to Mexico for a while, but people keep warning me it's dangerous and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed because I interviewed him a few times when he was out there, and I love listening to him talk. And like a lot of elders picked him up as a student, which I'm like, oh, so jealous.
Yeah,
You know,
they did.
instruments that you know learn how to. You learned a lot. What did they teach you?
Oh man, they taught me. Well, they taught me how to work in the campo, how to do tequio. Tequio is a collective time when all the people in the village gather up and they all work together. The men, the women, the children, the elders. They all work together, like clean up the pathways from the village to the forest, or they all get together and make the village beautiful. And tequio was what I thought was one of the most beautiful concepts that indigenous people have when they could all collectively. It's like everybody gum scraping at one day instead of just having that one kid that was just really bad in middle school, like having him at lunchtime gum scraping. Everybody gum scrapes. The lawyer, the doctor, the judge, the cop, everybody's gum scraping, and no one is humiliated. Everybody's doing the work. So everyone's carrying the water. Everyone's carrying the wood. Everyone's doing this stuff. And I appreciated that because it made me realize how bullshit capitalism is. When there's a punishment, there's people that say you gotta clean up the graffiti or you gotta do this, you gotta do that. and you got to serve time. And serving time, I even went to jail in Mexico, but it was only for 3 days. And
What?
yeah,
When did that happen?
it happened because they said I was disturbing a bull. It
A
was
what?
nothing like they said I was disturbing a bull, like I was bugging them, like getting them rowdy.
What the hell? You went to jail for disturbing a bull?
Yeah.
Woo, we're never gonna let this one down, bro. I'm gonna bring that up on my stream. So what happened while you were in jail?
It was just me. I was the only one there, and there was a big party going on, and I think I almost got in a fight with somebody from another village, and I just walked away, and I just went to be where the bulls were at. I was just like, I kept coming, and then somebody came from behind me and they said, "You're bugging the bulls. You're going to jail." And I was like, "I'm not even doing that. I didn't even do anything like that." It just when I went to jail, but I think they just needed to do something with me, and I experienced schizophrenia in the jail cell too. It was felt like the magical cell. I was experiencing all kinds of hallucinations in the jail, and it was real interesting being there. I hated it, but it was real interesting. Somebody asked a question right now. I'm not sure who did.
There are 2 questions. One is, when you think of that happening here, it sounds so dystopian. This relationship that the police have, or the communal way of living, or, it does sound like it's, here, sister, I don't know of any other place like the United States where the gun violence is so prevalent and the government does nothing to keep us safe, right? Which is horrible. So, but here's a question you can answer. How do you bug a bull?
Because they were bullfighting that day, and they had him tied up in like around a fence, and as I walked, I noticed there was a bull, so I just came to look at the bull, like just to admire the bull, like, "Hey, what's up, homie?" I was kind of drunk, and then the bull, has it just kind of like went like that, and the police came. They You're bugging the
Bugging the
bull.
bull, bro. You were bugging it, but you were too drunk. You didn't realize it, man. Okay, so let me see if I remember your email. It's Juarez. It's Juarez Misael88 @gmail. Is that right?
Juarez Misael 28.
Damn, I was so close. It's a heavy lift for me with my, memory being what it is. Okay, so if you would like a signed copy of Misael's work, I'm donating the hard copies, and he'll gladly sign them and send them to you. So, please, because you want to get a signed copy with some inspirational thing on there from Misael, because it's going to be dope. The book's coming out soon. We got pre-orders. If you are interested in having a free Kindle version, you can email that to me so I can put you on the list. You can get the free Kindle version too. But no, this has been so amazing. I learned a lot about you, Misael. That's a funny story, dude. But I bet the jail conditions were much better than here in the US, where they go into freaking broom.
Not even. There's no toilet. There's no bathroom. You sleep on a petate. One of those woven.
So where'd you go to the bathroom, bro?
I had to make all this noise for them to come get me.
Oh,
so they would take me to the restroom.
That's good. Well, at least they let you go to the restroom, not like here.
They'll unlock the cell, and then they'll walk me to the bathroom. Then I had to come back to the cell. But I did have a good time, because there was this little kid that when I got there, I gave him playing cards, and I would play cards with the little kid, and the little boy was he was so cool with me. So when I was in the cell and the party was going on, I go like, "Hey, homie, bring me some beers." And
no, he didn't.
He brought me beer.
What? I'm not with it. You weren't even serving your full sentence, bro.
He was one of the. They have a government. He was one of the government sons. One of the government. One of the people that oversee the.
That is so dope, dude.
I blame it on schizophrenia.
Blaming the schizophrenia. Yeah, the higher power, the Misael spoken word wife was like, yeah, get some beer, dude. Get that minor to get you some beer. Come on now. That's awesome. That's an awesome story, dude. Because even when you
he got caught.
oh,
He got caught.
Did he
But
get
they didn't
punished?
do nothing to him.
Okay,
No, he
good.
didn't get punished. They just
Because
told, don't
clearly
do that.
it was your fault.
being
It was
punished.
obviously your fault, right? He got an oral warning. Could you imagine growing up? We got an oral warning before we get the chancla.
Yeah.
I think we'd be more well adjusted than we are now for a lot of us. All right, this has been amazing. I'm gonna close out so everybody can say goodbye to Misael. I cannot thank you enough. This has been wonderful. I really enjoyed listening to your story. Bro, you're ready, man. You're ready to go on the road. You're always welcome at Hurrah, Washington. We'll make sure to do an event this summer via Zoom and then see about bringing you in person come fall. But I'm hoping to take him to all the city colleges, hit up some of these universities where I'm affiliated with, and I know professors, because Misael has a very powerful message, I think, not just because of his relationship with mental illness, but just empowering, dude. So I thank you. I wish you every blessing. I know we're going to be working really hard after grades are done, but I'm looking forward to working with you some more, Mano, hearing more of your naughty stories, because that was pretty hilarious. Hey, why don't we all unmute and give Misael the gift of our applause? Thank you for all of you who asked such great questions. Thank you for peer editing those of you.
Thank you.
You have my
Thank you.
number if you want to meet me. The only time I may not is if I'm taking a nap, because I'm feeling like a nap. But it's been a long week. Love you. We appreciate. Oh, I don't know about you. We send you light and much appreciation, hermano. And I will see who am I seeing at 3:00. Hold up. Let me tell you real quick, because I don't want you to forget. Jack, I'm gonna see you at 2:00. Guillermo, who's not here, I see you at 4. Trent, do you want to see me at 5 or 3?
Today?
If you want, or tomorrow or Friday, bro. I'll make time for you.
I'll think about it.
All right, mijo. Message me, okay?
All right, I'll
right.
message you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Does anybody have any questions before you go write beautiful paper treats? Misael, I'm gonna call you when I'm done real quick. I'll hit you up via Facebook. All right. Thank you all. Don't forget, I stand ready to write your letters of recommendation. And don't forget to email Misael if you want a copy, juarezmisael28@gmail.com for a hard copy of the book. Email me if you want a Kindle version, and there's my phone number if you need anything, okay? We are done, and I'm sad, but we are done. Bye.